So you're thinking about starting, right? Building your business, posting content, making your first move. But you're waiting for what? For someone to tell you it's okay. For permission you don't need. You want to start, but first you need to tell people, get their opinion, see what they think, right? Your family, your friends, your partner. Maybe they'll support you. Maybe they'll encourage you, right? Maybe they'll tell you it's a good idea. So you wait. You explain your plan. You share your vision. You hope they see what you see. But they don't get it, right? They don't give you the approval you were hoping for. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe if the people who knew you best don't support this, then you shouldn't do it, right? Maybe you need their approval to move forward because starting something big without support feels risky, feels reckless, like you're making a mistake. So you wait longer. You explain. You keep explaining, right? You keep hoping they'll come around, right? Keep waiting for someone to tell you, yes, do this, right? But that moment never comes, and you stay stuck waiting for permission that nobody's giving. And waiting for support from people you love makes sense, right? You want them to believe in you. You want them to see your vision, right? You want them to be in your corner. You want them in your corner. So their lack of support feels like a roadblock, like you can't start without them. But here's what you're missing. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need anyone to tell you it's okay to start, right? You just start with or without them, right? I learned this when I began building, right? I was hoping for support from the people closest to me. I never got it. But I started anyways, right? I needed no one's approval or permission, not from family, not from friends, not from anyone, right? I didn't wait for them to understand. I didn't wait for them to believe in me. I just started building, right? So why do you think you need permission to start? Like, what are you getting wrong about approval? Pay attention to this. Number one, no one gives you permission to start, right? You take it. You're waiting for someone to say, yes, you should go ahead and do this, or waiting for them to give you their blessing to go ahead. But that's not how this works, right? Nobody gives you permission to build your life, right? Nobody hands you approval to chase your goals. You take it, right? You decide to start without asking. Successful people didn't wait for permission, right? They didn't wait for support. They started before anyone believed in them, right? Before anyone understood what they were building. So waiting for external validation you don't need to wait for external validation. You give yourself permission, right? That's the only approval you need. Number two, the people closest to you often can't see your vision, right? That doesn't make it wrong, right? You explain your plan, they don't get it, right? They don't see it. They think it's risky or impractical or maybe even unrealistic. That's not because your vision is flawed. It's because they can't see what you see, right? They're not living your life, right? They're not inside your head. They don't have your perspective, right? Their inability to understand your vision doesn't invalidate it, right? It just means they're not the ones building it, right? You are. So start without their understanding, right? Their support isn't required for your success. Number three, Start despite lack of support, or starting despite the lack of support proves commitment, right? But waiting for it proves doubt. So when you start without support, you're proving something to yourself, that you believe in this enough to do it alone, right? That you're committed regardless of who's sharing. When you wait for support before starting, you're showing doubt, right? You're showing you need external validation to believe in yourself. You're showing the vision isn't strong enough on its own. And the most successful people started when no one believed in them, right? So start now, right? Build proof, and the support will come after results. And if you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to start, if you're hoping for support from people who don't understand what you're building, if you're delaying because no one's giving you the approval you want, I need you to hear this. You don't need their permission, right? You don't need their approval. You don't need their support to start, right? You need your own decision, your own commitment, right? Your own belief that this is worth building. So stop waiting and start building. The support comes later, right? After you prove it works. So how do you start when no one around you supports what you're building? How do you move forward without external validation? You decide that your vision matters, right? More than their opinion. You decide that proof comes from action, not approval. I put together a free guide, 7 steps to your first affiliate sale. These steps don't require anyone's permission. They don't require support from people who don't understand, right? They just require your decision to start, all right? The link is in the description. Go grab it, read it, and execute it. Don't wait for permission. Just start, right? Just do it. And drop a fire emoji if you're starting without waiting for anyone's approval. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.